It's used in making mochi or mochi, I guess. I don't know how you pronounce that, to be honest. Mochi, I guess. But it's used a lot in gluten-free pastas, I found out just from doing research on that. It's very fine. It's different than any other flour I've worked with because it doesn't, you can't feel it kind of. It just feels like it wants to crumble.
So how do they use it in Japan?
Well, they'll add like make almost like a simple syrup, it sounds like, or sweeten it up and then form it into a paste. It gets kind of gluey once it's cooked, it seems, but just getting it to that initial like dough phase was a little interesting. So I made a gnocchi dough with some Yukon Gold potatoes because I felt like it would help enhance some of the sweetness if there was any sweetness coming out of the flour. Boiled them a little bit and then I dried them out in our oven and combined it with some of the rice flour. Cornstarch a little bit, almost as like bench flour a little bit, just to help hold it together again because I saw the recipes that had that element in there. And then I also read some where they use xanthan gum in there, so I used a tiny little bit of that. Just figured I needed the help to help hold it together. Really gunning for the corn one because I wanted that other element of sweetness in there and the corn flavor, but it didn't really come through.
So how did you make the corn?
I just juiced some corn and used that in place of the water. And initially I didn't use any egg in it, just wanted to see if the starch from the corn would help bind it as well. But it just didn't really do anything to the flavor or the overall texture. My initial thought was to try and just make a pasta, given the location and what we do, and I was looking up extruded pasta recipes, and there was always a lot of other ingredients with it, so it didn't seem like it would be highlighting the rice flour. So I was trying to find something that would just be, eggs and the rice flour. And everything I attempted it was really limp and it wouldn't hold together. And so then my sous chef and I were talking about it yesterday, and he's like, let's just do potato gnocchi. So I tried that this morning, and so far it's working. The last time I did them until they floated a little bit, and I tasted it. So I don't know, about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's see. Chanterelles. I'm gonna season with a little espelette. Thyme. I'm going to use the pasta water like we do for some of our pastas over here as a base for this. And I want the blueberries to kind of maintain their integrity. I'm going to throw them in a little bit later, and I'm afraid it's going to turn the whole thing super purple, so I'm just going to gently slide these guys back in. Super sticky. Whatever direction I was, even if it came out to be very similar to pasta, I would want some other, a little snap from the corn, a little sweetness from the blueberries, and a little bit of, their whatever texture they're going to contribute. The moment of truth. Try a little. Not bad. I was a little nervous. It's good texture. I think it's like gnocchi. I mean, definitely. I wouldn't say it's the best gnocchi, but I think to someone who couldn't have, like a flour gnocchi or whatever, it's close to being acceptable, I guess. I think we can work on it and make it better, but. I worked with him briefly a couple different times, and he's a very good friend of mine, and so I didn't think he'd be too mad because I think he'll find it up his alley because he uses a lot of beer and there's a lot of bitterness at play there, and so I think the coffee will present a good challenge for him with that.